going on, Ocho?
What's up? What's up? Sweet Sound Productions, we in the building, right?
Thank you for being here, man.
For sure. I appreciate you having me. It's love.
This show is about you today. Where did you get your style? Where did you get your flow? Let's start with that.
I started making music, to be completely honest, here in Hazleton. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I moved here when I was about 16, and when I moved here, I met Jonathan Eric pretty quickly. So Jonathan Eric is another artist who I work with. He's my brother. Hold him down on whatever. But he was already making music, and he was kind of popping out here already. Like, he had at the time, MySpace was what was up. And he had like a record that had like 100,000 on MySpace. So he was like a little Hazleton hood celebrity. You know what I'm saying? He had a popping record called Coolin'. And long story short, we got really cool. And he ended up bringing his studio over to my house because we would always be kicking it. So I had an extra room and he could record there. So when he brought the studio to my house, I took some time and I was like, yo, on my own, because I was too shy to bring it up to anybody. I was like, let me just try to record stuff. Because as a kid, on the block, you would always try to freestyle rap and whatever. And then I was a big fan of like Chris Brown, singing stuff, R&B. So I was like, all right, let me try to get on this mic and sing. And I fell flat on my face. I ain't really rock with it. But I remember I wrote my first rap and I showed it to JP and he was like mad excited about it. And I was like, I thought it was whack, but he was super hype. He hyped me up, what a friend should do when somebody's doing something creative. And he pushed me. He was like, yo, drop this or record it. And I kept recording music. And eventually I kind of started coming into my own. As far as how the style developed, like what I listened to, at that time, like we were really into it was the blog era, I would call it. So a lot of the music, we would find our music on blogs like Two Dope Boys, things like that. It wasn't like how now is how everything is streaming regularly. You have to go on DatPiff. So a lot of the people that were popping then were artists like Currency, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar was just popping. So I would listen to a lot of music from that era, and I think that really developed some of the sound that I have. And of course, we always went back to the Nas. I didn't start listening to Nas, to be honest, till I was like 16, 17, because my boy Jabron was a big Nas head. So he put me onto a lot of his music. I was, of course, a big Hov fan. And so I think the music I was listening to when I started making music was kind of shaping what I was making. But then also the music that I grew up on, like, so I'm Dominican and Puerto Rican, and I lived in Bushwick. So, just that vibrant, eclectic, different types of people living in such a tight area, playing all different types of music like reggae and all the rap stuff. I think that really molded what I got going on here.
How old are you now?
I'm 28.
28.
Yes,
so you're
sir.
still super young.
Thank you.
But your music sounds like so mature.
I appreciate
like
that.
You're always sending out messages.
Right.
Like as in a positive note.
Right.
You're like a mature 28.
I appreciate
artist.
that. I appreciate that. Yeah. I don't really have like a mindset of what the message is ultimately when I make music, but I do know that I just represent myself in a lot of music, and I've always been, basically in my early 20s, I started maturing pretty quickly. You know what I mean? I started realizing that what I wanted out of life really quickly. I noticed that a lot of my peers were doing different things, and I was focused on like what I want to have when I'm 40 and 45. So because of that, I think that drips out into my music. It's not necessarily like I don't write these songs and say, yo, I wanna preach to the youth and I wanna make sure that they get in this, that, and the third, but it just drips out because those are the things that I'm chasing. Because I'm chasing it, it comes out artistically as well. Feel me?
Nice. So you told us you're half Puerto Rican, half Dominican.
That's right.
Do you speak Spanish?
Claro que sí.
For real?
Yeah, man.
Okay,
My parents was not having that. So yo aprendí español primero, even though my Spanish is a little bit twisted.
What?
I learned what my parents did. They was smart. They taught me Spanish first. And then they said, you know what, he's gonna learn English in school anyway. So I've always spoken Spanish. I lived with my grandparents for a good portion of my life. So they're just completely Spanish speaking for the most part. So my Spanish is all right. I can hold it down. You could drop me in Peru, in DR, anywhere, I'll hold it down. I won't get lost. But now, if you want me to go to law school in Spanish, I'm not doing it. You feel me? But I could hold myself down.
So, but you seem to speak more English. And when did that change?
Like I said, so my parents, they taught me Spanish first.
Yeah.
But I think grade school.
In
grade school, like I learned English, and then I'm from New York City, so everyone pretty much speaks English, and I picked it up quick. And I've always been strong at English once I got a little bit older. And then, what's funny enough? I know as we get older, we realize how important it is to speak Spanish. But growing up in the hood, like that's something you were made fun of. You were made fun of for. Like if you was like in school, they would call you, like if you was in a bilingual class, you were a hick or guala guala or whatever. Like you were made fun of. So it got to the point. There was an age where I would say, like, even though I knew Spanish, I say a little white lie. I don't know Spanish. I'm not talking Spanish. You know what I mean? Because it was kind of
to fit in.
Yeah, to fit in. It was kind of something to be ashamed of. And then as I got older, I realized like, yo, it's really lit that I actually know Spanish because I could get myself out of any situation for the most part. So it's lit.
People, learn your Spanish.
Yeah, learn your Spanish, man. Learn your Spanish and teach your kids Spanish, especially if you Spanish. Don't let the language die, man. Please, don't let the language die.
I think that's one thing us Dominicans kind of have compared to other cultures. I think that we kind of stick to our Spanish thing.
You think so?
I think so, man. I mean, in some families, obviously, more than others. But
right.
I think overall, by through the years, I'm a little older than you, so I guess I could say I've been around longer than
right.
you. And I see that it's like that. Like, I don't know if it's a Dominican thing, but it's like our parents, always, make sure that they speak in Spanish. I guess I don't know what it is, but
you know what I'm afraid of? You're right in a sense about that, but I think so. Like the funny story is that Puerto Ricans don't speak Spanish. That's what it is, right? So, but you gotta realize like Puerto Rico is part of the States to a certain degree, right? So Puerto Ricans been coming to like New York City for long. So what I'm trying to say is there's more generations of Puerto Ricans here in the country, right? So what I'm afraid of is like, for example, my generation, the people who are my age, they know Spanish, but they know English better, like how I do, right? So, and then my kid, like, I'm trying to have an emphasis on teaching Spanish to my kid, but like, let's say I don't. Let's say I just speak to him in English. He's gonna be because my girl's Dominican. He's gonna be a Dominican kid, and if I don't teach him Spanish, he's just gonna know English. And then once he has his kid, ya se acabó. So I feel like we're a few generations away that if like that could happen. You know what I'm saying?
You're totally right, man.
So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see.
Back to your music.
Right.
You used to call yourself Sick Vic. Tell us about that.
Sick Vic.
Tell us about Sick Vic.
All right, so like I said earlier, I was rapping when I was 16. Well, first of all, when you would type in Sick Vic, there'd be a million Sick Vics. Because that, like, if your name is Vic and you want to rap or you want to do something creative, that's like an easy name to just jump on, right? And then second of all, I just felt like I started outgrowing it. I just felt like it felt a little bit immature for me, and I was searching for something different. Around that time that I changed my name, I dropped a record, an EP called the Ocho EP. And that was basically a few records that I had compiled together. But during the marketing of that EP, I used the flyer with my face on it. And at the bottom, it just said Ocho. And under that, it said EP. And I was posting that flyer across everywhere in town. Now, not to go too far left, but the reason I called it the Ocho EP, I've always been infatuated with the number 8. So my chain, it says V8V. V is for my, the V's are for what my name stands for, and then the 8 is for the day I was born. My grandfather designed this chain for me, and so I've always rocked it. You can see pictures of me as like a 1-year-old with this chain on, with a similar chain like this. And so I always been infatuated with the number 8. So that's where the Ocho EP came from, right? But when I was doing the marketing, I would post it all over the city, and I actually posted it where I get my haircut, where I used to get my haircuts at, right? And the owner of the barbershop forgot my name was Vic, and he just started calling me Ocho just off the base of the poster because it said Ocho right there. So he started calling me that, and then I just thought it sounded dope, and I started running with it. But then I realized I was like, all right, so I want to drop music as Ocho. I did the same thing that every artist probably does. You go on Google and you search Ocho, see who's named Ocho. And then I saw a bunch of stuff that was the Spanish number 8. I was like, all right, well, I really can't compete with the Spanish number 8. You feel me? Everybody, that's the top 10 numbers. So I was like, okay, how do I differentiate this? And so I was like, you know what? Let me just add the AOK to the end of it. So I called myself Ocho AOK, and I've been running with that ever since.
So are you A-OK?
Yeah, I'm definitely AOK. You dig? I'm definitely AOK.
Okay, so AOK is for the art of cooling. Tell us about Art of Cooling.
So the Art of Cooling is our company. Jonathan, Eric, and I own this company. And to be honest, he came up with the name. It comes from that. Earlier, like I said, he had a record called Coolin', and that record was like popping out here. And then he was dropping a mixtape when he was young called The Art of Coolin'. That never dropped. And so it was just something that we always ran with as far as the company stuff, right? And we made this business together. We started doing shows from this business. We started dropping our music from this business. We actually started creating merch out of this business, and it's become something that it's not just synonymous with us. It's its own brand. So we're trying to grow this to be something bigger than us. I think it just sounds good. It has like a nice kick to it, like you just said. Oh, you A-OK? Like it's smooth. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's become, and that's what we've been running with.